Hello again. Welcome to our study. It's good to have you here. We begin our study in the book of Hebrews, and this is chapter 1. It's a short chapter, but as in all of Hebrews and all of the Bible, there's more here than we can cover in just a few moments. So, book of Hebrews, chapter number 1. We begin with prayer. Once again, God, we love you. We're thankful for your word. We're thankful for your Son who came and did the unthinkable. He died for us all. Bless us, Father, as we try to comprehend that and how we try to embrace the words that are written on and about him. So bless us in these things. We'll give you praise in Jesus' name. Well, the author is debated among the scholars. Many affirm Paul as the writer, and other scholars point towards several other possible writers. The writer himself did not sign the letter, so it's ambiguous as to who this would be. And again, scholars have their issues as far as Paul or someone else who may have written it. It's written somewhere around 65 AD, and it was agreed upon that it was before the destruction of Jerusalem, which happened in 70 AD. Some call that the diaspora, or the dispersion, if you will, of the Jews from 70 AD, and it was destroyed there by Rome during that time. As one scholar quipped, he said it this way. He said, Hebrews was written to the Hebrews by a Hebrew telling other Hebrews to stop acting like Hebrews. Now that sounds tongue-in-cheek type of thing. And what he means by it is that these people were saved. They had found their Messiah. But yet there was this desire to go back into the law and embrace the Mosaic law once again. And what he's telling them, you don't need to do that. You didn't keep the law anyway. You couldn't keep it. So to try to go back and do it again, it's pointless. Don't do that. And then finally, the writer of Hebrews continually makes mention of the superiority of Christ in both his personage and in his ministering work. It's done. It's over. The law has been completed. Christ has finished it. He's put the capstone on it. So to go back and try to relive it or work it again, if you will, they couldn't. And there's no point in trying. Christ now has fulfilled the entirety of the law. We begin verse number 1. God, having spoken in former times in fragmentary and varied fashions to our forefathers by the prophets, has in these last days spoken to us by a Son, whom he appointed to be heir of everything, and through whom he also made the universe. He is the reflection of God's glory and the exact likeness of his being, and he holds everything together by his powerful word. After he had provided a cleansing from sins, he sat down at the right hand of the Majesty and became as much superior to the angels as the name he has inherited is better than theirs. For to which of the angels did God say, you are my son, today I have become your father? Or in other words, I will be his father. He will be my son. Well, you see, God spoke to man in various ways. In the garden, God spoke to Adam. He walked with him in the cool of the day. But once sin surfaced, once sin made itself apparent, God removed himself. God's not going to be in the presence of sin. So, God spoke, but then we see that God spoke through prophets and various other means. But God spoke to man in various ways. But now he speaks through his Son. And here, the deity of Christ is here referenced in these verses. You see, he is the expressed image of his person, the expressed image of God. So he who has the Son has the Father. He who rejects the Son rejects the Father also. He is the expressed image of the person of God. You cannot love God and hate the Son. You cannot receive God and reject the Son. It's like they come as a package. You have one is to have the other. You deny the Son, you deny the Father. He is the express image of his person. Well, he became as much superior to the angels as the name he has inherited is better than theirs. For to which of the angels did God ever say, you are my son, today I have become your father? Or again, I will be his father and he will be my son. And again, when he brings the firstborn into the world, he says, let all God's angels worship him, as a name and a position higher than all of them. Verse number 6. And again, when he brings in the first begotten into the world, he said, let all the angels of God worship him. And of the angels, he says, who makes his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire. But under the sun, he says, your throne, O God, is forever and ever. The scepter of righteousness is the scepter of your kingdom. You have loved righteousness and hated iniquity. Therefore, God, even our God, thy God, hath appointed or anointed you with the oil of gladness above fellows. And you, Lord, in the beginning has laid the foundation of the earth, and the heavens are the works of your hands. Verse number 7, strange verse. And the angels, he says, who makes his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire. This is a direct quote from Psalms 104 and verse 4, says the same thing. And finally, verse 10, the works of his mighty hands. See, that's impossible for us to understand, come to grips with, or to fathom. His mighty hands. What has God done? How has he done what he's done? You know, one such scholar said, it will take all of eternity for us to come to grips with what he did and why he did it and how he did it. We will forever, ever be coming to grips with who he is and his mighty works. We'll serve him throughout all eternity. And I like what one scholar said. He says, every day we'll learn more and more about just how great and how mighty and how powerful God is. Verse 11, they will come to an end, but you will remain forever. They will all wear out like clothes. You will roll them up like a robe, and they will be changed like clothes. But you remain the same, and your life will never end. But to which of the angels did he ever say, sit at my right hand till I make your enemies a footstool for your feet? All of them are spirits on a divine mission, sent to serve those who are about to inherit salvation. Well, for all eternity, he'll reign. Eternity. What does that mean? We have a hard time with that word. We live in a world that everything ends, everything comes to its rightful end, everything falls apart eventually. But eternity goes on, well, eternally. And that's another thing that we'll have to deal with. God's not a God with a lot of time. He's beyond time. He is eternal. Verse number 14, they are angels who minister to all who believe. Well, these are difficult words to process, but we're only getting started. So we'll see you on the next chapter, be chapter number 2. Be blessed, be safe, get ready. It's going to get fun. We'll see you on the next study.